friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Rachel and welcome to a new weekend reading vlog. I thought it would be fun to just take you guys along on my weekend. I do have a lot of reading plans that I want to get accomplished. I also am going to go to the bookstore and do a little book shopping. I need to reorganize my bookshelves a little bit. I feel like I'm always reorganizing my bookshelves, but I have some new books that I need to work into their respective genre shelves, so I thought that would be fun to do together and just kind of hang out, just do little bookish things, and of course provide you all with reading updates throughout the weekend. So today is Saturday. Originally, I had intended for this video to go from Friday to Monday, but Friday ended up being insane. So I am going to do this video from Saturday to Tuesday, and whatever I get read in that amount of time, I will share with you all. So I do have a little bit of a TBR for this weekend, so let me talk about that. So the first book that I want to get read this weekend is Slaying the Shadow Prince by Helen Shore. I've actually started this. I'm 26% of the way through. This book is a standalone part of that Mortal Enemies to Monster Lovers series. If you don't know what that is, it is a set of standalones by a bunch of fantasy romance authors. They all came together and kind of put their books into one series, but they're all very separate. Hopefully that makes sense. But Chrissa Broadbent did that, Claire Sager, and then this is Helen Shore's addition to that series. So while this book is a standalone, it does take place in Helen Shore's series, Legends of Thesmar, and the first book in that is Blood and Steel, and then Vows and Ruins, if you've heard of that. So this book belongs in that world. The author has recommended that you read Blood and Steel first, and then this, and then Vows and Ruins, so that is what I am doing. I have already read Blood and Steel a couple months ago. I enjoyed myself with it. It's somewhere between a 3 and a 3.5 star rating. I'm definitely going to continue on with the series though, because I do think Helen Shore has this very just like addictive, bingeable writing style. And while I do have a couple criticisms of that first book, I still enjoyed myself and I'm curious enough about the plot and the characters to keep going. So I knew that I wanted to pick up Slaying the Shadow Prince. Also because I just think that this is such a beautiful cover. I love this art style and I've been very curious about this. So as I said, I did start this morning. I'm not too far into it, so I don't have a ton to say, but this book follows Drew and Talamir. Drew is a ranger and she protects her village from these shadow wraiths. So she kind of stays at her post guarding and looking out for these evil beings. They're like these big, shadowy, black wings, scary guys, and they have just kind of destroyed a lot of the continent and definitely decimated a lot of Drew's land. In the beginning of the book, her and another guard are attacked by some shadow wraiths, but they end up kind of being saved by these two war swords. One is named Talamir Starling. That is our romance hero in this book. And then his apprentice, who is Wilder Hawthorne, who is the love interest in the Blood and Steel series. So because this does take place before the events of Blood and Steel, we get to see Wilder before he is who he is in Blood and Steel, which is really cool. He's a few years younger. He's not quite at his like height of strength and power, so that has been very fun. So even though Talamir and Wilder do help Drew and her guard kind of save the city, Drew is very suspicious of Talamir because she senses some shadow magic on him. We find out that Talamir was actually attacked by a shadow wraith during a previous battle, and so he has some type of shadow wraith power in him. So far, to me, it sounds like he's kind of a werewolf. Like, he doesn't turn into like a wolf, obviously, but take kind of what happens with a werewolf, and that's what happens with his shadow wraith powers. So I think it's like one night a month, he grows big bat wings and claws and all of that, and he just like goes insane. I also think when he gets really angry, like the shadow wraith powers can come out and he's trying to figure out how to control that. He absolutely hates that he has this power, by the way, because shadow wraiths are terrible and they are the villains in this story. So he is kind of actively trying to seek a cure for this, but doesn't really have one. And then on the flip side, Drew is just, you know, not very sympathetic of this because she doesn't really trust him fully, but the two of them end up having to team up. Because of Talamir's power, he is able to locate where the shadow wraith lair is, and it's really important to Drew to find out where that is to try to banish the shadow wraiths from her village because her whole family was killed by them. So the two of them set off on a journey along with all of their friends to try and kick some shadow wraith butt. So that's kind of the plot so far. And we have a little bit of like an enemies to lovers dynamic set up between them because she doesn't really trust him and he doesn't really like her because she's so untrusting of him. She is also doing some weird stuff with some Navarian steel, which is the magical swords and daggers in this world. And he thinks that she's kind of messing with things and that's affecting him. But I'm kind of still learning about that, so I'm not gonna talk too much about that. But essentially, that is what this book is about. They're going on a journey. They're trying to fight some big shadowy bad guys and falling in love along the way. So far, I am enjoying myself. I'm having a lot of fun with Talamir and Drew's dynamic. I really like Talamir. Like, I really enjoy him. I like shadow magic. I think it's interesting. And it's also kind of cool that Talamir has this very bad villainous power in him and him trying to kind of battle that. I think that's really fun. I do like Drew, but she is doing that thing that a lot of fantasy romance main characters do where they kind of hate someone for like some reason, but then the person will prove to be very good and they won't really do anything wrong, but they're still distrusting of them. them, and you kind of just want to go in the book and be like, girl, relax. Like, he's obviously a good guy. He doesn't want to have this bad power. You should trust him, but we're getting there with her. We're getting there. I understand why it has to be this way, but I'm just ready for her to kind of let her guard down and just enjoy Talamir's company because he seems wonderful. So that's where I'm at with this book. I'm very curious to see how this is all kind of going to wrap up because it is just a standalone. So I'll be curious to see what the resolution is, but I am liking the romance. I think it's fun. I'm just having a fun time with this so far. I'm only 26% of the way in though, so I'll definitely keep you guys updated on how this progresses. Another book that I would like to read this weekend is Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. So this is the first book in, I think, a YA fantasy romance series. I think it's fantasy romance. I know there is romance in here. I don't know if it's like a pure fantasy romance, but I'm just gonna call it that for now. We're starting a new series because of course we are. I am constantly starting new series and I love it because I just love super long fantasy series. They make me so happy. I don't know how long this one is. It looks like there's at least 4 more books, but this, I feel like, is a very well-loved and a little bit older fantasy series. This book came out in 2012, but I've seen a lot of good ratings for it. My friend Nadia, she spoke very, very highly of this book. I'm pretty sure that Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte really enjoys this book, so I wanted to give it a shot. I haven't read a YA fantasy, I think, this year. I did read Ruthless Vows. I don't know, that is YA, but it doesn't feel like this type of YA fantasy. So I wanted to pick up a YA fantasy this weekend. I'm just kind of in the mood for one, and just because I've heard really great things about this, I'm gonna give it a shot. I also had the audiobook hold come in from my library, so it was kind of the perfect time. I don't really know anything about this book, I'm gonna be honest with you. It looks like there are witches and watchers and things are escalating into war. 4 young people collide against one another. That sounds very fun. I'm excited. I really hope that I like this just because I've seen people get really excited about it. So I will start the audiobook for this probably tomorrow. I'm thinking I do want to make more progress on Slaying the Shadow Prince before I pick this up, but I'm excited to see what I think. So these are gonna be the plans this weekend. I think even if I am able to read both of these by Tuesday night, that's kind of my deadline, I probably won't add anything more in because I'm gonna start my House of Sky and Breath reread after this weekend because we only have 1 more week, you guys. 10 days from today, House of Flame and Shadow will be out. So I don't want to read anything else except for House of Sky and Breath before House of Flame and Shadow, so I think this is gonna be it for me. So I do hope that we have some favorites here, or at least overall pleasant reads that I can recommend to you all. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for now. I am going to continue reading Slaying the Shadow Prince, and I will give you guys more thoughts as I make a little more progress. Hi friends, I thought it would be fun to incorporate into this little weekend reading vlog kind of an impromptu book room tour. I don't think I've showed my book room in its entirety on my channel yet, and it is pretty much fully set up at this point. I'm really happy with it. It's my little sanctuary, my little lair. This is where I'm reading 99% of the time. This is where I'm filming 99% of the time. So I thought it'd be fun to show you guys. I, for one, am nosy. So I hope there's other nosy besties out there who are curious about these things as well. I always like to see like people's bookshelf setups, their reading setup, where do they have their shelves set up, how do they have them set up, what little knickknacks do they have on their shelves or desk nearby, what type of lounging area do they have for where they read. So that's something that I really enjoy watching in people's vlogs, so I thought it'd be fun to take you guys on a little tour of the book room. I also have some stuff on my bookshelves that I just haven't shown you guys. In my most recent bookshelf tour, I didn't have it all quite set up, but I really like it. So I'm just gonna take you around the book room. Okay, so starting off in this corner, I have this lamp, which is not very exciting, but what is very exciting is we do have color changing bulbs, so I can change it to, hopefully that's showing up. I don't know. It's much more like impressive in person, I guess I'll say. I feel like the camera is really diminishing a lot of the colors. But yeah, I can make it blue, I can make it green, I can make it orange. I normally make it pink because obviously. So that's really fun if I want to like set a mood for reading. I really like doing that, especially with the little Christmas lights that I have up here. It just brings a very nice like ambient vibe into the book room. And then you'll see on my bookshelves, I have lots of little fake plants. They're all from IKEA and I just like having plants on my bookshelves. I think it looks really nice. I also have a lot of little fake candles, which sometimes you'll see in my videos, but they're really nice when it's dark and I have like a bunch of fake candles on my bookshelves while I'm reading. It's a whole vibe. So these are what they look like. They're just from Amazon, but I think they look really pretty, especially at nighttime. All right, and then this shelf I kind of love. This started out as a catch-all shelf, but then it turned into a place for me to display art prints. This is where I keep my bookmarks. This is where I keep my Kindle here. I also have a fake plant. I have some candles and I have this gal right here. So let's go through this shelf a little bit. I actually love this shelf so much and I think I want to keep it this way. Even if I get more books, I need to use the shelf. I gotta figure something else out because I just really like how this looks. Okay, so like I said, I have bookmarks here. I have art prints. I have a couple candles and I just really like the way that this has turned out. So I have this candle. This was gifted to me by Hannah when she gifted me that annotated copy of A Course Court of Silver Flames. This is like a Court of Mist and Fury candle, and it smells really, really good, and it also has sparkles and flower petals and stuff in it. This is a Never the Lost Girl themed candle from Jessa Hastings' release of Never. Bloom sent a really cute PR package, and I just really like this candle. I think it's so adorable. Also in that package, I got a little compass, which was very cute. All right, and then I have this bookmark holder. So I got this from Etsy, and it has ACOTAR on one side, Crescent City on the next, and then Throne of Glass represented right there. Nothing on the back, but I just really like this. I think it's really beautiful. I just love getting stuff from Etsy. And then I have just like a ton of bookmarks in here. You can't really see a lot of them because all of the tall ones have kind of taken over the short ones, but there's definitely a lot in there, and I just really like having this out and having all of my bookmarks visible in this. All right, and then we have my favorite art print. This is from Bestie Lachlan. Honestly, there's multiple things on the shelf from Lachlan, so shout out Lachlan, she is amazing. So she sent me this, and it is an art print from A Court of Silver Flames. We have Nesta, Gwyn, and Emery, and I just absolutely love this art print so much. I think it's so, so cute. This is an ACOTAR art print that I got from Enchanted Oddities. I've ordered a few sweatshirts from them. They're like a merch company, and they sent this too, which I thought was really pretty and I wanted to keep. I also have this Jude and Carden art print from the Folk of the Air series. I got this in the Lit Joy Crate special edition box, and I just think this is so beautiful. I love Jude and Carden so much. Here is another art print of Jude and Carden. I just think they're so beautiful. And then the back, oh yeah, it has a little biography of who they are. I'm obsessed. I love the aesthetic of the Folk of the Air series. I love the wicked fae aesthetic, so these are really pretty. And then I have another art print. This is once again for the release of Never by Jessa Hastings. The artist that Jessa Hastings uses for this book and also Magnolia Parks is so talented. This is absolutely gorgeous. And then I have this little fake plant. I got this years ago, probably from Home Goods. I'm gonna guess Home Goods or TJ Maxx or something. And then I have this little bestie queen. This is Penelope. This is from Lachlan. She and I just have a thing about pigs. We love pigs. We're always sending each other little baby pig videos on Instagram, and she has given me a lot of things with like little pigs on them, and I so appreciate it. So one day when I was cleaning up my book room, I just put Penelope on this shelf just so I could like clean around her, and this just kind of feels like her spot. So this is her little domain. She hangs out with all the art prints, and I think it's really cute. I just love her so much. She looks like she's like waving. Her one hand is always up. I'm just, yeah, I'm obsessed with this. Lachlan also gave me this really amazing Kindle sleeve, which once again has a bunch of beautiful little pigs on it, and I really, really like this. I like having these cotton sleeve Kindle holders. And then here's my Kindle. I'm not sure if I showed it, but I also got a few of these stickers from Lachlan for Christmas, and then I ordered some new ones because I just wanted to do a bit of a refresh on my Kindle. Okay, so now we're gonna actually get into the official book room tour. Here are my slippers, and so you walk down the stairs here, and then you're in my book room. So to my right is very boring. I just have my tripod. I have some of my lighting is in there. I have my ring light there. I have a little space heater back there because this room is cold all the time. And then we have a scary little closet that I don't like to go into. Okay, and then here is my TBR cart, which I put together in my January reset vlog. I only have one more book on my official January TBR. So in my TBR cart, I just have some batteries. I have tabbing and annotation stuff. I have a bunch of pens in there. I have some chargers. I have like a camera case. I have my headphones case. And then down there I have my planner and then my little notebook. And then once again, we have a lamp, which is not very exciting, but there you go. And then this is the rug that I have next to my bookshelves, which I really like. I got this from Amazon. And then we have the crown jewel of my book room, which is my reading chair. This thing is amazing. I don't know if you can tell, but it is huge. Like I fully sink into the back of it. My feet don't even hit like the edge of this when I'm laying in it. It's amazing. It's perfect for reading. I absolutely love it. It's a really great chair. I really love it. Anytime I'm reading, like 99% of the time, it's gonna be here. And then I have another little space heater because like I said, it's really chilly down here. I also have this mirror here that is across from my bookshelves. I wanna say I got this from probably Home Goods, I'm thinking. But I really like having a mirror in here, really nice. I just have some curtains here. And yeah, that's the book room. I hope that that kind of makes sense. Oh, I also have like fake plants up there. I have boxes for like special collector's editions up there. I don't want to get rid of the boxes, but I have the books out on shelves. So I just kind of have those up there. Oh, this is the chair I sit in. That's from Amazon. So yeah, that is my book room. friends, so today is Sunday and I've had a pretty productive and honestly wonderful morning. I have read quite a bit of Slaying the Shadow Prince. I did do some reading sprints with my besties and it was wonderful to just spend some time with them. And now I have kind of gotten ready for the day and I have a lot of errands to run, which I will be taking you along for. But first I did want to do a little reading check-in on Slaying the Shadow Prince, and then I do have a little bit of book mail. So let's get those things done and then I'll tell you guys about my plans for the rest of the day. So I am like 54% of the way done with Slaying the Shadow Prince. I'm on page 200 and I am still really enjoying this book. I think that one of the strengths of this book is definitely the banter between the characters, Talamir and Drew. I just really like them together. I think that they're very cute and I just really enjoy this dialogue. The two of them are on this quest and having to work together and definitely trying to see if they can trust one another. There is doubt on both sides. And while some of the plot points I think are a little bit weak, I am still enjoying myself. And I think that this is one of those books that's just like very fun. I don't think it's poorly written. Once again, I do just want to note that I think Helen Chor's writing is very bingeable, very much a writing style that you can just dive right into and get through so much of this book in one sitting. That's also how I felt with Blood and Steel. So I am enjoying myself. There is definitely a little bit to be desired thus far with the plot and fantasy elements, but I really like our characters. So as this has gone on, I am still really enjoying it. We have had a few spicy scenes, which is very exciting. And I'm just curious to see how this is all gonna wrap up. Like once again, I think just because it's a standalone, I'm like, okay, how are we ending this? I don't think that the plot line necessarily has to end because this is technically a prequel to the Blood and Steel series, but I'll be very curious to see what groundwork we lay in this book that affects what happens in Blood and Steel. So this is still going very well. I do want to read a little bit more of this today, but I have a few errands and things I want to do first before I pick this back up again. So I'll let you guys know how this goes as I read more of it. And then I do have some book mail that got delivered today that I'm very excited about. So let me open this real quick. Okay, so this is a book series duology that I have already read, and it is the Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. I got the paperback editions of these books. I do have the collector's editions of Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. Let me grab those really quick so I can show you. Okay, so I have these editions of Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. They have sprayed edges. Crooked Kingdom has black sprayed edges and Six of Crows has red sprayed edges. And these are absolutely beautiful, but they are called collector's editions for a reason. I don't think that I would want to physically read these. One, because anytime there is like significant sprayed edges like this, I really don't want to touch the book too much. I don't want to touch the pages too much. Also, the paper is like a little bit different. The paper is also very stiff, and there is art in this book. I just don't want to touch this. I just don't want to mess with it. I don't want to like lessen the quality of it at all. So that is why I did order the box set. And the reason why I got this now is because I really want to reread this duology this year. Six of Crows is one of the first books I picked up once I had gotten back into reading. So I really started to get back into reading in January of 2021. That is when I discovered BookTube. That is when I started discovering kind of all of these like classic YA fantasy series that I really wanted to catch up on. And Six of Crows was a duology that I just heard so much about. So I read this very early on, like 3 years ago, and I absolutely loved it. Six of Crows is definitely one of my favorite books of all time. Inej is one of my favorite characters of all time, and I just miss it. I just want to reread it. So I feel like 2024 is the year. So much time has passed, and I really just want to see how this series hits me on a reread. So that is why I got these. They look so beautiful. Oh, they have this thing. I hate this thing so much. I'm sorry. Like we have to stop. We have to stop with this little, I don't know what it's called, but I hate it. But other than that, I think that these are really stunning covers. I'm so excited to reread these. Oh my God. Oh, these smell so good too. Oh my goodness. Oh, is there art? Oh no, just the parts are labeled with the darkness. I cannot wait to reread this. I also feel like, because if you don't know, Shadow and Bone season 2 is going to be the last season. They did not get renewed for a season 3. And I had also heard that if Shadow and Bone did get picked up for a season 3, that there was going to be an official Six of Crows spinoff with that cast, with the Six of Crows cast that we do see in Shadow and Bone. And they had like written every episode and they said it was amazing, but it is not going to happen. And I am so sad about that. I don't understand how these decisions are made, but I feel like Six of Crows would do so well as a screen adaptation. The heist is just such a compelling storyline. All of these characters are so different and they really just leap off the page. Like, this feels like the type of book that is meant for a TV adaptation, and I am so sad that we're not going to see it played out on screen, at least for now. Who knows, maybe someone else could pick it up one day. I'm really sad about that. So I miss these characters. I miss this world. I want to do a reread, and I just really love this. I definitely prefer Six of Crows to Crooked Kingdom, but I still love both of them, and I'm excited wanted to fit this into the 2024 TBR at some point. Okay, so the plan for the rest of the day, it is 2 o'clock right now. I need to go to Barnes because I want to pick up a book that I'm going to be reading in February for like a little vlog challenge that I'm gonna be doing. I'm very excited about. Well, I'm excited about the vlog, but I am a little bit nervous about reading this book because I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but more on that later. So I'm gonna pick up that book. I'll definitely peruse around and see if there's anything else I want to pick up. Mostly I think I'm just gonna go there for that. And then I do need to go to Target and I need to go to Walgreens. I just need to like run little errands and things like that. And I'll probably grab some type of lunch while I'm out. So I'm gonna run errands. I will take you guys to Barnes and show you what I look at and what I end up picking up. And then when I get back, I actually kind of want to start Falling Kingdoms just because I don't know, it just feels like a good time. So I might read a little bit of Falling Kingdoms and then I might read this on my Kindle like before I go to bed or something. But I do think that I want to start the second book for this vlog and I'll definitely keep you guys updated on both of those. But I think that's going to be the plan. So we're going to shop, we're going to eat, and then we're going to read. So I'll talk to you guys later. Morning besties, happy Monday. Time for more reading updates, and then I also want to do a little bit of bookshelf organization. So I think the last thing you guys saw was me perusing around Barnes & Noble. So many beautiful books that I did not buy. I had self-restraint, but I did end up picking up that JLA book at the end there, which is going to be read in like a challenge little project reading vlog I'm working on, potentially coming in February. Potentially not. I'm gonna try, but if that doesn't happen, we never had this conversation. It will be coming soon though. I definitely want to get that video up soon and I'm really excited about that. But let's talk about what I am currently reading, and that is Falling Kingdoms. So I'm actually a little over 50% of the way done with this book and I am having a lot of fun. This book is so dramatic in like the best way. There is just so much going on, so many different personalities, and I am just finding the writing style to be like very easy and simple to get into. This is just like a really, really fun book thus far, and I'm really, really glad that I picked this up. So Falling Kingdoms is the first book in the Falling Kingdoms series, question mark. But this is a multi-POV YA fantasy. I think we follow 3 different kingdoms and characters and like their friends within their chapters as well. We have a princess, her name is Cleo. She is very naive and kind of sheltered from the world, but because of a murder that she witnesses right at the beginning of the book, that kind of sets off this kind of snowball of things happening where she's seeing a lot more violence, she's seeing a lot more injustice in her life. She also really wants to help out a family member who is very sick. So she's kind of setting out on her own adventure and spreading her wings. She's sort of known as this like dramatic and emotional, sheltered princess, and she really wants to, I think, not only prove to other people, but prove to herself that she can do more as she sees more injustice in the world. We also follow Jonas. So Jonas is from a more impoverished land that has seen the negative effects the most within this world. And in the beginning of the book, he experiences a tragedy, and this kind of sets him on a course for rebellion. He wants his fellow countrymen to rise up against the stronger powers and take back some of what is theirs. And then we also follow Magnus, and I'm just gonna say it right now, that's my favorite POV. I love the mess of Magnus's POV. On the back of the book it says like perfect for fans of Game of Thrones, because Magnus is another prince of another kingdom, you know, lives a very nice life, and he has a little sister named Lucia. And right away, his very first chapter, his very first POV, we quickly learn that Magnus has feelings for his sister, and he's really trying to hide them and push them down down because he knows that this is wrong, he knows that this isn't normal, but also he like doesn't really try to hide it in any guy who tries to talk to her. He does thwart their efforts at trying to court her, and he's just being in his head is a trip. But I am 99% sure that they're not actually siblings. I don't know that for sure. This is just me, you know, musing, but there's extremely heavy-handed hints towards that, and honestly it starts right when the book starts. So I'm putting that out there. But even though I don't think that they are actually siblings, he thinks that they're siblings, and yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting watching him go through the world trying to figure out and navigate his relationship with his sister. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess, but like they're not actually siblings, so like I don't feel bad for like kind of finding it entertaining. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but I feel like I'm like, come on, there's no way that they're actually siblings. But I think that is where one of the Game of Thrones inspiration comes from. And also we just have like multiple different kingdoms and multiple different monarchies that are feeling like a war might be brewing between them and just power struggles and all of that. And I don't know, this book is just fun. The writing style is definitely, I mean, it's YA, but it definitely feels like for a young audience. I think it's pretty surface level, but like the interactions between the characters are what I'm here for. I feel like the characters themselves are super compelling. I feel like their dynamics and their conversations are just really what I am here for, and that's what I'm liking. And it's just like the drama of it all is very fun. So this is a good time. I honestly think I'm gonna finish this today. I need to know what's gonna happen. And with every single POV switch, things are ramping up and I'm really excited to see where things go. Yeah, I'm really enjoying myself. I don't like feel like it's like a 5-star or anything, but like I'm having a really good time. So those are my thoughts on Falling Kingdoms. Like I said, I do think I'm gonna finish this today, to be honest with you. I only have a couple hours left of the audiobook. I said I was gonna start this book last night. I didn't, but I started it this morning and I'm already 50% of the way done, and it's like 12 right now. So I have just been blowing through it and I'm really enjoying myself. I like the characters. I am rooting for them. I'm rooting for all of them, and I'm very curious to see how all of their stories converge. So this is going well. And then as far as slaying the Shadow Prince, I'm still at the 50% mark. I didn't read anymore last night, but I think that if I'm able to finish Falling Kingdoms within the next few hours like I hope to, I will pick up Slaying the Shadow Prince tonight, and then we'll close out this vlog tomorrow and get it up for you guys. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like I'm on track. All that being said, I now want to organize my bookshelves a little bit. Okay, so these are the books that I need to work into my shelves. I'm at my farthest shelf to the right now, and I've owned all of these books for a while. They just don't have a permanent place. And then I bought a few books here, Six of Crows, I showed you guys that yesterday, and then this JLA book. So I need to get these fantasy books into my fantasy shelves, which are all the way on the other side. So I'm gonna do some moving around and reworking some things, and I will take you guys along for that. I don't think this will take too long. I just thought it'd be fun to show you that. So let's reorganize my shelves a little bit. Hello besties, how are we? So it is the final day of this weekend reading vlog and time for me to provide my final reading update and then close out the video. So number one, I did finish Falling Kingdoms this morning and I had a ton of fun with this book. It was wild towards the end. I mean, to be honest with you, it was wild right from the beginning, but I absolutely loved all of the POVs. I feel like that was my favorite part of this book. I need to read more multi-POV fantasy. Like that is what this is telling me, because every single time I do, I really enjoy it. I think it just helps with the world building so much. I think all of our characters were very compelling, and I just feel like there's so much to look forward to in this series. So I'm definitely going to continue on with it. I really liked our characters. There were lots of little romance dynamics happening in this book, which is very fun. I am gonna give it a 3-star rating though, but like a high 3-star. I did really like this book. It just doesn't feel like up to the level of a 4 or 5-star book for me. I don't quite know why. I did talk about a little bit how the writing does feel like a little bit on the younger side of YA, and it's not like a super youthful story, I would say, because there's definitely like some very intense things that happen in this book, but I don't know. Something there where while I did enjoy the ease of the writing, while I did enjoy just like, you know, getting into it quickly, there is part of me that wishes maybe there were some more complexities added into the book and the story, and maybe that will happen as the series goes on. But as far as the characters go, lovely. They're amazing. I am very, very excited to see where things go because there's just so much happening, so many different threads and plot lines, which was like super fun and definitely has me intrigued for what happens next. So a high 3-star. I really liked it. It's just not like an all-time Hall of Famer fantasy for me, but I totally get why people like this book. I totally get why it has a lot of very good ratings. It was a fun time. I really, really enjoyed myself. So I'm glad that I read this. I'll definitely continue on with the series. I had a ton of fun with this. So as far as Slaying the Shadow Prince goes, I actually have not finished this book, and I'm not gonna finish it today just because I don't want to rush through it too much. But if you do want to see my thoughts on this, I will of course be talking about it in my January wrap up because I will finish it in the next day or two. I have just planned to close out this video today, and I just don't think I'm gonna get this read by the end of this video. But I am 50% of the way through still, and I'm enjoying myself. I do have a couple critiques, but I'll be curious to see how the second half of this book goes and if it makes up for any of those critiques that I had. So look out for my review of this in my January wrap up, or you can just go on my Goodreads and see what I rated it in a few days. So that is going to be it for this weekend reading vlog. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I had a ton of fun taking you along on my weekend, doing a book room tour, going book shopping, reorganizing my shelves, talking about books, book mail. How many times can I say books in like a 10-second period? I just had a very fun bookish weekend with you all, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. So if you made it to this point in the video and you wanted to let me know that you did, go ahead and leave the stack of books emoji. Please make sure that you're following me on Instagram and Goodreads. They are always linked down below. I really appreciate that you watched this video. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. I love you all so much, and I will catch you guys in the next one.